You need to know about keeping your personal information safe to big fat tax breaks. We got you covered.
Plus, sequestration set to hit in just weeks, and it'll impact more than just jobs at Robbins. We'll tell you other places you'll feel the hit.
Those stories and more straight ahead on 13 WMAZ.
This is 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News Morning.
This is a live look from Macon's Medical Center. Alpha Sky Cam this morning on Tuesday, the 19th of February. David Ernst has a peek of the forecast. Maybe some rain today, David.
That's right. We're still dry in Macon and Warner Robins, but those showers are spreading into the area. We've already got the rainfall in Forsyth, down towards Thomaston, and into sections of Crawford County and Taylor counties as well. So it's a matter of time before we'll see all this rain spreading eastward across middle Georgia today. Despite that rainfall, though, temperatures should still make it into the low 60s for highs. And this is a fast-moving system, so we're not going to be dealing with the rain for several days like we were last week. It will just be starting up this morning, out of here by the late afternoon. We will see it turn colder tonight, though, so I'll have more details on that coming up in your full forecast.
Our top story at 6 a.m. As you get ready to file those taxes this year, beware of thieves looking to get their hands on your sensitive personal information. Tax season is prime time for identity thieves. Mary Maloney has more.
I had some mail stolen out of my mailbox.
It only took a minute for thieves to steal a credit card statement out of Brandon Barnhart's mailbox. Soon after, his card had hundreds of dollars in fraudulent charges.
It was shocking. Basically, I didn't know how it could have gotten stolen. You know, I always get my mail every day, but somehow between 8 and 5, somebody came along and got that piece. I felt victimized.
Criminals target both mailboxes and computers to steal sensitive information.
Anyone can be a victim of identity theft. If you shop online, if you do banking online, if you do any kind of transaction online whatsoever, you can be a victim of identity theft.
Johnny Woods works at Alltech Computers and sees victims of identity theft.
It's an everyday situation.
The scheme seems simple, but can be very profitable.
They're very sophisticated. It's not necessarily that they're going to steal $100,000 from you, even though that can happen. More than likely what's going to happen is they're going to take a couple bucks out of your account every couple of weeks, and they're going to do this over the course of forever.
Armed with your name and social security number, thieves will target your tax return. Investigators with the IRS say armed gangs and violent criminals now turn to tax fraud to make a quick buck and file electronic returns. Police say criminals will get that information any way they can.
It's a pit trap, really.
We'll continue our tax theme this morning. Kenny's in Studio 13B with news of a big tax break. Kenny?
All right, Annette, thank you. Facebook raked in about $1 billion in profits in 2012, but according to a tax watchdog group, it paid no federal or state taxes. The social network is due a whopping $429 million refund, thanks to a major tax loophole. Allison Kosick explains.
We all want our tax preparers to find us the biggest refund possible, and Facebook's accountants found a big one. The social network is claiming a $1 billion tax deduction for excess benefits from stock options. What's that mean? In Facebook's early days, the company paid many of its executives with stock options. These are promises to buy shares of the company's stock at a set price. When Facebook went public last year, it meant executives, including CEO Mark Zuckerberg, could exercise those options and buy Facebook stock at a price far below the market value. The difference between the price paid and the actual market value is tax deductible for the company. Facebook is not the only company that does this, though. The advocacy group Citizens for Tax Justice found 185 companies in the Fortune 500 took similar deductions in 2010, including Apple, Goldman Sachs, Hewlett-Packard, and ExxonMobil. Citizens for Tax Justice has criticized the deduction, calling it a corporate tax loophole, but it's perfectly legal unless Congress changes the tax code. Democratic Senator Carl Levin of Michigan introduced a bill to eliminate stock option deductions in 2011. It was never voted on. I'm Allison Kosick in New York.
Allison, thank you very much. While we're on the subject of taxes this morning, the state of Georgia's new car title tax will go into effect in less than 2 weeks. There's still confusion about how the new policy actually works. The new policy eliminates the so-called birthday tax for people who buy, lease, or trade a car. Instead, you'll be required to pay a one-time tax of 6.5% of the car's value when you get your title and registration. And that includes cars that are bought from a dealer or a private seller. To see how it might impact you, just go to our website, 13WMAZ.com, search title tax.
Later today, Georgia will execute the first death row inmate of 2013. A state court judge declined to reconsider the case of Warren Lee Hill. Hill's lawyers have argued he's mentally disabled and therefore shouldn't be executed. Georgia law prohibits the execution of mentally disabled offenders. Hill landed on death row for fatally attacking a prison inmate with a nail embedded in a board in 1990. The judge says the request for reconsideration is procedurally barred and that the new evidence doesn't establish a miscarriage of justice. And new this morning, 13 WMAZ has learned the drugs used to execute Hill today are in short supply. Georgia's supply is actually set to expire next month. The State Department of Corrections says it has 17 vials of phenobarbital, or enough for 6 lethal injections. Denmark-based Lundbeck Incorporated, the only U.S. licensed maker of phenobarbital, sold the product to another firm in 2011. Lundbeck said a distribution system meant to keep the drug out of the hands of prisons would remain in place after Lake Forest Illinois-based Acorn Incorporated acquired the drug. The DOC did not respond to questions about what the state might be doing to obtain more phenobarbital. 13 WMAZ has learned the state does not intend to change its execution method. And later this week, those drugs will also end the life of another Georgia death row inmate. That is unless he is granted clemency at a hearing later today. Andrew Cook is scheduled to die Thursday for the murders of Mercer students Grant Hendrickson and Michelle Cartagena. That killing happened back in 1995. After Cook's execution, the state does not have any others scheduled this year.
And at 6:06, it's an ominous word, sequestration. It's one you've heard multiple times in the past year, and we'll hear a lot more in the next couple of weeks. Sequestration is the term for automatic spending cuts that go into effect March 1st. If Congress doesn't reach a deal before then. That is $1.2 trillion in cuts over the next 10 years. It'll hit Robins Air Force Base very hard. We've reported that extensively in the last few months. But here are 3 other ways you could see a big impact. The Obama administration said there could be meat inspector furloughs, meaning no meat and poultry inspections nationwide for about 2 weeks. They warned that could create a meat and poultry egg shortage, and you'd pay more for them to get on your table. It'll also hit you if you fly the airlines. The Department of Homeland Security said expect longer waits at airport security checkpoints. That because the TSA would reduce its number of workers. And the Department of Education said your children could see an impact too with the expected education cuts. Grants to schools will be cut along with grants to college students. The feds say 80% of schools would not be able to make up the losses from sequestration.
Are you on Twitter? If you're not, get on board. If you are, why not tweet one of us today? Get on Twitter and follow us. Our main news feed is at 13 WMAZ News. You can find me at Annette_WMAZ. Kenny is at K Bergamy, and David Ernst at WMAZ David Ernst. Time now is 6:08.
Rain moving in today, and David Ernst has details in the Weather Center. Hey, David.
That's right. The showers have already started up in the northwestern corner of our viewing area, and it's just a matter of time before we see that rain make it into Macon and Warner Robins. In fact, I'd say we're within the next 5 to 10 minutes seeing some of those showers into the downtown area. 44 degrees right now at our observation site at Macon with mostly cloudy skies. We'll take a look at the satellite and radar and let you know what to expect throughout the day. That's coming up right after the break.